It's time for the Rick Smith Show. Now, here is the voice of the working class, Rick Smith.
And welcome, brothers, sisters, working class heroes. This is the Rick Smith Show. Thanks so much for being here today on the big program. Lots to get to, lots to talk about. What a weekend! What a weekend we had. Everybody, I think, globally focused on one place, and that would be what's going on in Ukraine. And I'll be honest, you know, I'm looking at the globe coming together, and, well, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by the fact that a good majority of the globe can come together. And this, to me, is why you have organizations like NATO and the UN, and why you want people joining together, fighting for freedom, fighting for democracy. Good thing. Now, here at home, seeing a little bit of it as well. Seeing a little bit of coming. Sure, you're going to have your fringe. You got on both sides the extremes. You're going to have the Trumpkins, and you're going to have the Lulus. They're going to be out there, but somewhat coming together as a country. In fact, some interesting polling numbers out. 74% of the U.S. people polled here at home said that what's going on in Ukraine is not justified. 76% view Vladimir Putin as unfavorable in what he's doing. And you go, yeah, those seem like no-brainers. In fact, you should seem that it would be higher than that. But given the fact that we're as split as we are, I'll take that. Now, given the fact that just 3% of Trump voters, 3%, think that Biden is doing a better job leading the country than Putin is. And given the fact that I really don't think Putin gamed this out happening the way it's happened. I got to tell you, we're going to go right there. I thought he saw this going differently in his head. I really think he thought this was going to be a quick weekend in, quick weekend out, home, big parade, love, flowers, all that. Has not worked out that well. Now, 47% of Trump voters say that Putin's actually doing a better job than Biden, even though the Russian economy is on the way to total collapse because everything's being shut off. 45% say that neither Putin or Biden are doing well. And this is the part that gets me. I don't know how you can look at this scenario and go, oh no, Vlad's doing well. 95% of Trump voters view what Biden is doing unfavorably. And you go, okay, well, it is what it is. 87% view what Biden is doing as very unfavorable. Now, in getting into what's going into Ukraine, and I've gotten a lot of crazy. It seems like the crazy comes out during these moments, and that's okay because we need to have these conversations. The 26% who say we should have nothing to do with it, no stake, we've got no stake in it, shouldn't do anything. Those are the 26% who filled up my email box. Those were the folks who were going, no, what would you do here? What would you do there? Understand, I grew up understanding that NATO was... Well, first, it was put into place to hold the Soviet Union in check. Did not want communism spreading. Wanted to hold on to democracy. But also, the other part of NATO's mission was to make sure that you didn't have nationalist military, buildups like you had in Germany. That's not great either. So that you didn't have this kind of hyper-nationalist militarism that would, again, sweep across and cause more wars. The idea is the more friendly we are, the more we're on the same page, the more we agree, the more we defend each other, the better, and the more politically aligned everyone is, the better. So when everyone says, well, NATO should have been shut down after the Soviet, no, that was part of their mission. But the other part of it was to make sure that you didn't have the rise of the other side either. And I think it's done a pretty good job of that. And to make it so that you didn't have these kind of wars, that all of us come together in times of crisis and say, no, we're not going to allow this. I'll defend you, you defend me. This way we're all more secure. And I had a bunch of people going, but, how would you like it? if Russia signed an agreement with Cuba, well, they did. That they have one. If we attack Cuba, they may jump in the middle of it. Now understand, this is where this argument breaks down for me. Ukraine is a country moving towards democracy. They want to be free. They want to move in a direction. They don't want to be part of Russia. They don't want to be part of really didn't want to be part of the EU until today, where you've got, Zelensky going, hey, now we're ready to come over. We're moving in that direction. They wanted to be a free country. And as soon as Putin started doing these things he's been doing, now they've got to go, which way do we go? Did the U.S. scream too much when Putin basically took over Belarus? Oh, I know he didn't take it over. They agreed to with each other. They have a mutual defense pact. In fact, the Belarus military is now invading Ukraine. That was on the Ukraine border. That's on the border of other NATO countries. So this argument that I keep getting, and I'm getting all this crazy stuff that we shouldn't be there for this reason, we shouldn't be there for this reason. Understand, the criminal in this is Vladimir Putin. Nobody wants this. Nobody. The criminal in this, the rich guy who was sending poor and working class Russian kids into Ukraine to kill people, other poor and working class people, is Vladimir Putin. This is his baby. He owns this. And I don't care what Ted Cruz is out there saying that, Europe's on the verge of war because of Joe Biden. This isn't Joe Biden's fault. Joe Biden has done everything an American president could do right now. He's done everything. In fact, he's pulled the world together better than I thought could possibly be done. And yet you have in this poll 67% of Trump of Trump voters going, yeah, he's not tough enough. Well, how much tougher are you going to get? Because nobody wants to put boots on the ground. Nobody wants to bomb the 40-mile-long Russian military train that's coming in full of soldiers and armament. Nobody wants to bomb that. Nobody wants World War III, but the majority of us say we should be supporting the Ukrainians. Get them the military armaments they need, get them the support they need, sanctions, do what we can, but the fight ultimately is with the Ukrainian people having to defend their country and their freedom. Now, having said that, the other side, and I get this from the left in a huge way, and look, I am not somebody who believes in starting a war. I'm not a war person, but I'm also not a pacifist. I have been in a fight or two in my lifetime. The reality is, you have two choices in these moments. The Ukrainian people have two choices. They can surrender, as some are saying they should do. Some American military types. And I look at this colonel. Colonel Doug McGregor was on Trey Gowdy's Fox TV show. And again, am I surprised this is what's coming from Fox? No, but this is what the colonel had to say.
In our usual effort to demonize him and his country, we need to remember that Ukraine is fourth from the bottom of 158 countries in the world as corrupt. Russia is perhaps 3 or 4 places above them. This is not the liberal democracy, the shining example that everyone says it is. Far from it. Mr. Zelensky has jailed journalists and his political opposition. I think we need to stay out of it. The American people think we should stay out of it. The Europeans think we should stay out of it. And we should stop shipping weapons and encouraging Ukrainians to die in what is a hopeless endeavor.
So when you say stay out of it, you mean no sanctions, no military aid, just let Russia take the portion of Ukraine they want to take?
Yes, absolutely. I see no reason why we should fight with the Russians over something that they have been talking about for years. We simply chose to ignore it. And more important, the population there is indistinguishable from their own.
The population is indistinguishable. And that's the weird thing, because it's true. They have a common language. But you heard them. And this has been the right-wing line for a while. We should stay out of it. None of our business, except the expansion of a Russian state. Because once Ukraine goes, then what? Then do we find other NATO-aligned countries? And do we wait for that as they grow stronger? And is that the goal? The other part that I found interesting about the Colonel's statement is it's hopeless. Well, I don't think you should tell that to the Ukrainian people. They don't seem to think it's hopeless. They are fighting for their freedom. And now this is coming on the channel that talks about freedom. This is the channel that talks about liberty. This is the channel that pumps up all those so-called patriots driving their trucks, because they want freedom. Yet you want to talk about freedom fighters. Yeah, is it overwhelming? Yeah, I got to tell you, I didn't think the Ukraine would hold on this long. I didn't think the Ukrainian people would hold out this long. I thought the Russian military would shock and awe them, and they've been bombarding them. But these are people who will stand up and fight.